In this short video, I'm going to explain to you why you cannot rely on EbscoHost for citing your information. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and pulled up an article that actually happens to be one by myself, Shannon Brogan, James C. McCroskey, and Doreen Joey, titled Social Communication Apprehension, the Intersection of Communication Apprehension and Social Phobia. As many of you do, when you pull it up, you just click on this and this comes up, and then you go over here, as you can see right here, to what's called the cite function, as you can see right there. When you click on that, it gives you different options. For example, it gives you the AMA, APA, and Chicago to Arabian. Now, here is the problem. If you take this, and I'm going to just take it and copy it, which is what many of you have done, and I'm going to paste it into Word. So here we have, your actual Word citation. Well, one of the first things that you're going to notice is that this little phrase right here, retrieved from EbscoHost, according to the latest issue, the 6th edition of the American Psychological Association, you do not need to include this anymore. I do not know why EbscoHost keeps doing this, but the APA has flat out said that because most articles now are done as PDFs, like if you come back here and you look, this is a full PDF file. Because it is a PDF file, it is considered to be a replica of the printed version. Now, in the old days, before they actually had PDFs, we had to rely on HTML, which is basically text. Then you needed to tell us where you got that from. But in today's world, you don't need to. And as a result of that, it's really changed how we actually handle this stuff. So for today, you do not need to have that retrieved from EbscoHost. So first, just delete it. Second thing you're going to notice, according to the APA Style Manual, titles should not be all in what we call toggle case. Toggle case is whenever each of the letters and the major words and the title of the study are capitalized. The only time that you capitalize a word is if it is the first letter of the first word in a title, which is like you see here with social, or if it is the first letter following a piece of punctuation. Here we have a colon, and following that is a capital T for the, or if it is a proper noun. If it does not follow the first letter of the title, the first letter following a piece of punctuation, or a proper noun, it is not capitalized. So I'm going to go through and get rid of all those capitalizations because they are not necessary. And again, I want you to notice that this is how EbscoHost has it presented, and it is just flat out wrong according to APA style. The reason why it appears this way is each and every journal editor, when they submit information to EbscoHost, they have to upload it. So depending on how the journal editor uploads it is ultimately how EbscoHost is going to spit it out for you. And again, oftentimes when it spits out information, it is flat out wrong. Okay, next, the issue number. For academic journals, we do what we call continuous pagination, meaning that at the beginning of each new issue in a volume, like in this case, this is issue number 4 in volume 11. You'll notice that it starts at page 409 to 429. That doesn't mean that there's 400 pages. That means there's 4 in that specific issue. That's 400 pages in that volume that we're looking at this point. As such, because it is what we call continuous pagination, meaning from one issue to the next, so from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. So if number 1 stops at page 50, number 2 starts at page 51. If issue 2 starts at 100, or stops at 100, then issue 3 is going to start at 101. Because of that, we do not need to include the issue number. You really only need to include the issue number for newspapers and magazines. Next, we need to make sure that we italicize all the appropriate information. So what you do is you highlight the name of the journal all the way through the issue number. Notice this, that the comma after the name of the journal is italicized and the volume number is italicized. The little comma following the volume number is not italicized. So then you go ahead and you click all of that. That is what you italicize. Now the last thing you want to do is make sure there's not a DOI. Now for this journal, I do not believe that there is a DOI, but you still gotta double check because sometimes they include it elsewhere. But from the looks of it, this specific article did not have a DOI. And so that's, really easily a number of mistakes that EbscoHost had in its version of APA citation. This is why I always say, I look at those sometimes forgetting things, but you must be smarter than EbscoHost. That is why I require you to get the 6th edition of the American Psychological Association Style Manual, because it is fundamentally different than what you see when you go through EbscoHost on its own.